Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'll be building the best possible combined 11 for every single World Cup qualifier group in UEFA. I've done this series for the World Cup groups, Euro qualifier groups, and Euro groups. So now I shall continue the tradition. Yes, I know I need some new thumbnail photos. However, sorry, I know the title says that this should be the best. However, it might not actually be the best, as I've given myself a very specific rule. For each group, I'm only allowed to choose 3 players max per country. So for example, in Group A, you'd obviously mostly choose footballers from Germany, but yes, I would have to carefully select only 3 that would make the team to diversify it as much as possible. This means for every group of 4, there will be one nation that only has 2 players, and for every group of 5, I might not even include one of the national teams. This is all just my personal creation, of course, but let me know anything you would change. Just don't forget that I've given myself this rule of 3 players max per country. Also, one last thing, shout out to this recommendation to include a manager in this combined 11 series. I do like the idea, but I will not be pursuing. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie, choosing each of these combined 11s with this 3 players max per country rule is already giving me such a headache. If I also had to decide which manager to choose from, along with sacrificing a player slot, I'd go insane to the point where this video would probably not even be published in the first place. Anyway, starting out with the Group A, that same sample group I just went over, we've got Germany, Slovakia, Northern Ireland, and Luxembourg. This group's already a bit tough, as I did go through a bit of a predicament here, as there is no country here that I feel totally deserves a striker spot, so I had to make a few adjustments here and even leave out some of the best players from the German national team. You will see what I mean in a sec. Starting out with the goalkeeper, Anthony Morris from Luxembourg. Captain of Union St. Galois, the club has had an admirable rise, and he secured nearly half of clean sheets in league matches he's played in so far this season. The center back partnership will be 2 Slovakians, Hansko and Skriniar. Definitely the defense is a strong point to Slovakia's squad. With the rule I gave myself, it definitely makes sense to include these guys in the back line. The fullbacks on this team though, I've gone for 2 players from Northern Ireland. It would be criminal to not include Connor Bradley in a team like this. He is probably the future right back option for Liverpool, now that Trent has essentially confirmed he's leaving for Real Madrid. But also we got Trihum on Sunderland. This fullback has been one of their most consistent players this season, normally playing on the right, but I switched him to the left as he is quite versatile. Now for the midfield, the center defensive mid is Lobotka. An incredible asset for both Slovakia and Napoli. He's truly one of the best in his position as well. The other midfielders include Luxembourg's most high-profile player, Barreiro, and the other has to be someone from Northern Ireland. They have a lot of great young midfielders that have a bright future, but I will pick Isaac Price as he has just scored a hat-trick against Bulgaria in the Nations League. His final goal being a screamer. There's a lot of talent in the midfield department for this country compared to the attack. That's why I had to leave someone out I didn't want to, Kimmich, in order to solidify a spot for one of these future ballers. And yeah, obviously I did not pick any German players yet, as I've saved them all for the end. Of course, on each of the wings, I'll go for Musiala and Wirtz, the future of Germany, and they proved their brilliance very much so, working wonderfully together at the last Euro tournament. And at striker, it's not necessarily a striker that has really solidified his position for Deutschland yet, but he's had a really good season, and he's even scored a goal in his last 2 matches for the national team. I'm taking Clemens, or you could take Havertz as well. It is a bit frustrating to rely on either of them though. But again, there's no real solid striker option for this group in particular. So we do need to rely on the German firepower here. Now for Group B. Really interesting and balanced one to look at actually. Goalkeeper is the biggest no-brainer though. I mean, you could go for Kobel. Sommer did retire, but I am still picking the Slovenian gem, Jan Oblak. And I will take his teammate Biol as well, one of their highest profile defenders and was incredible in the last Euro tournament as well. I'll go for a 3 in the back for this team in specific, so joining Biol will be Rahmani from Kosovo and Akanji from Switzerland. The 2 central midfielders or center defensive mids will complete my Switzerland selection. I've gone for Zakaria along with Granit Xhaka. Xhaka, one of Switzerland's most vital players with so many memorable moments, even at the last Euro tournament, picking up several man of the match awards. Left midfielder has to be Zagrova from Kosovo, who was balling out for Lille before he got injured. And on the left, I'll take my final Slovenian, Lovric. Now, I could have saved my final Slovenian pick to be Šeško in the attack, but I would feel kind of guilty to leave out some of the ballers I'm about to mention. All from Sweden. At center attacking mid, it's Kulusevski, and our 2 strikers will be Alexander Isak along with Gyökeres. Isak, one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Victor Gyökeres already 44 goals this season. It's really hard to leave out either of these guys. Now, I could have replaced one of them for Šeško and then put in Alenga at left midfield instead of Lovric, but I had such a tough time to decide which Swedish striker to remove from this lineup, so I just decided to go for this approach. Group C now will be an interesting one, but cannot help but feel that Belarus will taint the squad just a tad bit. No offense, but on paper, they do not match to the likes of Denmark, Greece, and Scotland. Starting out with the goalkeeper, I'm going to pick a Belarus player to get that pick out of the way, Labukov. Probably one of the worst goalkeepers to choose from in this group, but one of Belarus's best elements to their team. Currently playing at CSKA Sofia, he's still just 21 years old, so he has a bright future ahead of him. I am also going to take Pigas at right back. No more from this nation though. Let's dive into the center backs with Christensen and Kuliorakis. Christensen has been so unlucky with injuries this season, but his brilliance should not be forgotten. Left back, although he's dipped in form a bit this season, Robertson is definitely still the clear answer. Him and a few other footballers from Scotland are non-negotiables for me. McTominay as well for sure, along with John McGinn in the midfield. McTominay being absolutely loved in Napoli after just a few months into signing him, to his heroics in the Euro Qualifier, solidifying Scotland's spot in the competition so early. He pulls through so much for club and country, so he felt like one of the biggest no-brainers. Now, one that I was torn about was who to select as a third midfielder between Hjulman, Højbjerg, and Eriksen. Denmark should get this spot regardless. You can make the argument for the future and pick Hjulman, but I think I'm going to take the veteran Christian Eriksen. 142 caps for Denmark. He still got it, put off a good fight against Portugal, getting a goal and an assist in that second leg. One more Danish player to go, and I have gone for Damsgaard. It's a bit hard to choose for that third player in Denmark in specific, as there's so much brilliance amongst the entire squad. So it's really all about preference, but Damsgaard has really seemed to revive his form in the Premier League, getting double digits in the assist department. And we will finish off with two more Greek players. On the right, Solis, and at striker, Pavlidis. The man to score a hat-trick against Barcelona and lose the match. But he really could be the difference maker for Greece to qualify them for their first World Cup in 12 years. Group D now with France, Ukraine, Iceland, and Azerbaijan. Now this one will definitely be tricky. If I didn't give myself this rule of 3 players max per country, this squad would be entirely French. Maybe you could argue for one placement for Ukraine. But including players from both Iceland and Azerbaijan, it definitely will not be easy. Goalkeeper, let's go with Ruben. Center backs, Zarbani has been so reliable ever since he has signed for Bournemouth. And I'll be taking a French player here as well, Saliba. Self-explanatory there, but I think he is key for both club and country. Fullbacks, I'm going to strategically take 2 Azerbaijani players here. At left back, Bayramov, and on the right, Husseinov. 2 quote-unquote center defensive mid for this formation. Although he is not as reliable as he used to be, he's definitely dipped in form a bit. I'm going to be selecting Zinchenko. I am mainly picking him to accommodate my Icelandic picks. I'll also take Johannesson, who has been balling in the second Bundesliga. 3 center attacking mids. First up, we've got Haraldsson on Lille, then Gudmundsson, and on the right, it's gotta be Ousmane Dembele. One of the best players in 2025 so far, without a doubt. And then at striker, yes, I am taking the one and only Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, I do think these are the best picks for the France national team, but let me know if you have any better idea to incorporate all of this. Group E now with Spain, Turkey, Georgia, and Bulgaria. Very exciting team that could come out of this. In Georgia specifically, we have some great additions to add as well. Like the goalkeeper, it's got to be the future Liverpool player Mamardashvili. Center back, Bulgarian Antov, who plays in the Italian second division. And I will complete my Bulgarian quest by taking Ludogorets captain Nedyalkov at left back. But for my other center back option, I will take a Spanish option, Kirbarsi. I know he has not fully solidified himself in the Spanish national team. He has only just broken out of the U21 side actually. But him along with Lamine Yamal are Barcelona's biggest assets. He is surely going to be more of a regular for the Spain national team, so why not start early and put him in the squad? Anyway, at right back, I know he mostly plays on the left, but he is versatile. I'm taking Kadiolu. He really proved his class in the last Euro tournament. Unfortunately, has been plagued with injuries throughout the season though. But what a player he is, and he's great for the future of the Turkish national team. Let's complete the Turkey picks by putting in Arda Güler and Çalhanoğlu in the midfield. Çalhanoğlu is one of the most adaptable players you could ask for and one of Inter's key men. While Arda, yes, we know from Szoboszlai, doesn't get much playing time for Madrid, but his impact is always present when he does get the chance and is a future star without a doubt. The other midfielder on this team will be Rodri. I know Pedri has been proving to be one of the best this season, but I don't want to rule out Rodri just because he's been injured throughout the season. Let's not forget he just won a Ballon d'Or, and he has solidified himself as one of the best center defensive mids in the modern football era. But for the attack, let's complete the Spanish selection by taking Lamine Yamal. Yes, I am going for the less experienced players from Spain, but this guy's been proving himself time and time again. He is one of the most entertaining players to watch in 2025. Even if his numbers aren't the same compared to other attackers, He always pulls the strings and has a brilliant display for club and country. For the final two players, I am left with 1 Bulgaria pick and 2 from Georgia. But it would be crazy to not finish this off with Georgia. At striker, it's Mikwadadze, and at left wing, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Group F is serious with Portugal, Hungary, Ireland, and Armenia. Probably going to be one of the coolest builds, but spoiler alert, sorry, I am not picking Ronaldo. Goalkeeper is going to be Liverpool's backup option, who I do feel a bit bad for. I think he deserves more of a chance. It's Kelleher. Sticking with my Irish picks, we'll take Nathan Collins as well, one of Ireland's best defenders in the Premier League right now. He'll be paired up with Willy Orban from Hungary, and on the left, it will be Milos Kerkez. Many Bournemouth players being selected in this video, but he is being scouted by some big clubs already. And rightfully so, even in his Alkmaar days, this guy always brought something special. Right back, I'll be taking someone who normally plays on the left, but he is one of Armenia's better choices. Tiknizian. Central midfielders, of course, Szoboszlai, but the other option, I am not too sure. Definitely someone from Portugal, but will we go for Vitinha, João Neves, or Bernardo Silva? Really tough one, but I will pick Bernardo Silva. But at center attacking mid, no matter what situation United are in, we cannot criticize this guy too much. He's helped Portugal succeed many times as well. It's Bruno Fernandes. At right wing will be the second Armenian, Sperzian. You might be thinking Mkhitaryan, but he did retire quite a long time ago, and Sperzian is their next big thing. Left wing will be Leao from Portugal, but that leaves us with an Irish striker. I want to take Evan Ferguson, but I might have to choose Troy Parrott instead. He has been unbelievable for Alkmaar this season, even in the Europa League. While Ferguson is somewhat simmered down, but that can obviously change over time. Group G with Poland, Finland, the Netherlands, Lithuania, and Malta. Easiest choice for the goalkeeper. To get the best out of Finland's options, we're going for Bayer Leverkusen's Hradecki. For the two center backs, one of them will be Poland's Kiwior, who I know isn't Arsenal's first choice, but he is one of Polska's most reliable defenders, and he'll be paired up with an incredible leader, one of the best center backs of this generation, Virgil van Dijk. Right back, even though he has been having some ups and downs this season, I'm still going to take Matty Cash. And I am switching Frimpong to the left side, one of the most pacey players in today's game. Midfield might be the weakest component to the team, but I'll start off with Finland's Kamara, along with Teddy Teuma from Malta and Gneitis from Lithuania. Both those picks I just mentioned seem to be their country's most gifted representatives, so it just makes sense to include them both. And now for the front three, Finland can look forward to a future star in the works, Ant-Man. This winger has racked up 14 assists in the Eredivisie so far this season. He just needs more of that playmaking for the national team. On the left, it's Cody Gakpo, who absolutely balled out in the last Euro tournament. And at striker, for me, it would be inexcusable to not include Robert Lewandowski. He has scored over 40 goals this season at the age of 36. Hansi Flick is getting the best of him at Barcelona, and hopefully Polska get that same kind of player for the national team. Group H now with Bosnia, Romania, Austria, San Marino, and Cyprus. Goalkeeper, I will choose Moldovan. I know Nita has been getting most of the recent appearances in between the sticks for the Romanian national team, but I think there's a lot of great options for the future they can utilize going forward. Moldovan in particular got 11 clean sheets so far in the Serie A this season. Center backs will include Austrian legend David Alaba, who unfortunately missed the last Euro tournament due to injury, but he'll be paired up with another Romanian, Dragushin, one of their best players who really solidifies the national team's defense. Left back will be Kolasinac, who really revived his form since joining Atalanta. And on the right will be Andreo from Cyprus, who normally is a center back, but is not unfamiliar to the right back role. I wanted to take Ratiu from Romania, but this is the best time to include a player from Cyprus. Center defensive mid is Marin, and the two center midfielders will be Leimer and Sabitzer from Austria. So many underrated players from this nation, but these two for me stick out the most. At center attacking mid will be my second player from Cyprus, Kastanos. Not a consistent player in the Serie A, but nevertheless adds experience. And for the two strikers, come on, you gotta go for Bosno here. Edin Dzeko along with Demirovic. Dzeko aging for sure, pushing 40 soon, but he is still a leader and symbol for the national team, while Demirovic will have heavy shoes to fill, but he has still been alright for Stuttgart this season. Group I now with Italia, Israel, Norway, Moldova, and Estonia. I will start from top to bottom just to change things up. We will go for two Norwegians off the bat, Holland and Odegaard. Crucial individuals for a team like this and are currently the face of the nation. They will be joined with the Israeli winger Solomon on the left, and at center attacking mid, I think it's important to include Oscar Glock from Red Bull Salzburg. For my central midfielders, I think it's important to include two Italians here. The national team has so many great individuality from every single position, but that gives us a lot of flexibility to choose which players we should actually utilize. So I'm going to be going for Tonali along with Barella. And I will complete my Italian selection by picking Bastoni as my center back. Really one of Inter's key elements. I wanted to go for Di Marco, but in order to accommodate for the other nations, I will throw in Ryabchuk, one of Moldova's best players, also a key player for Spartak Moscow. Joining Bastoni also at center back is Estonian veteran Karl Metz. 100 caps for the national team. Very unfortunate with injuries this season. Right back will be the Norwegian on Dorman Ryerson. And at goalkeeper, of course I would pick Donnarumma if I did not give myself this rule of 3 players max per country. Instead, I'll take one of Bayern's backup options, Daniel Peretz. Could have gone with Estonia's Karl Hein as well, who's playing much more this season, but he's playing for a struggling Valladolid side who is conceding a lot of goals. Group J now will be interesting, and I think one of the more underrated squads in this video. We start out with North Macedonian keeper Dimitrievski, who's also Valencia's backup goalkeeper. Courtois would have been the main pick, but yeah, you know the rule by now. I think it's important we save our Belgian picks for later. The right back, Neco Williams, is not losing any signs of improvement. And at the center back department, we've got for Wales captain Ben Davies. The other side of the back line will be 2 players from Kazakhstan, Alip and Zainutinov, who currently plays for Besiktas at the moment. Those are my only 2 Kazakhstan picks, and I will not be going for anyone from Liechtenstein. Hopefully you can understand. North Macedonia will cover most of the midfield with Bardi and Elmas. And at center attacking mid, he is leaving Manchester City, but he is not leaving amongst the highest ranks of Belgium. It's Kevin De Bruyne. When it comes to the attack, clown him all you want, but Lukaku is still Belgium's top goal scorer. I also will continue to thank him every day for his 2022 brilliance. But for real, even though he gets unlucky at moments, he always shows his resilience for the Red Devils and is never brought down. Jeremy Doku for me is Belgium's scariest player to watch, and on the other side, it's without a doubt Brendan Johnson to complete that Welsh selection. Group K now, we're putting Serbia and Albania in the same group. That is a great idea. Join with England, Latvia, and Andorra, of course. Well, actually, sorry, no, I am not going to be choosing anybody from Andorra. Goalkeeper is a predicament. I think Serbia have a lot of great options to choose from. They're even still debating who's the best one to pick in between the sticks. But I want to save more of my Serbia picks for later, so even though he has fallen off a tad bit, he is still the #1 choice for the Albanian national team, Strakosha. 3 in the back now, starting with another Albanian, Diamisti on Atalanta, and he will be joined with Aberdeen defender Tobers, along with Milenkovic, who has been a surprise signing for Nottingham Forest. Center defensive mid will be Aslani, who needs to establish himself at Inter more, but still one of his country's key men. Joining him in the midfield will be Jude Bellingham, along with Milinkovic-Savic. Milinkovic-Savic has not made it to the Serbia squad in a while, due to not handling criticism well for the poor Euro performances. And also, I'm sure Pixie has some influence. But if he returns to himself mentally, he's got to be my pick. The left midfield will be shifting position a bit to accommodate for the rest of the team. I'll be picking Ikonieks from Latvia. And on the right will be Arsenal star boy, of course, Bukayo Saka. And finally, for the 2 strikers, it shall be Harry Kane and Dusan Vlahovic. Tough one to decide, let me know your thoughts. And finally, Group L, Czechia, Croatia, Crna Gora, Gibraltar, and Faroe Islands. Goalkeeper will be World Cup 2022 hero Livakovic. Sometimes falling short for Fenerbahce, but I still think should be the main choice. The center backs might not be so strong on this team, but I still think Czechia's Krejci has had a notable rise. And I'll pair him up with Vandhammer, who plays for the Faroe Islands and is currently playing his club football in Iceland. Right back, perfect opportunity to utilize Crna Gora's options. We'll be taking Marusic. I want to take Savic, but he did just retire internationally. On the left will be the key man for Croatia's defense. Don't fall for Mbappe's tricks. He is still class. Joško Gvardiol. Center defensive mid, although West Ham have been a bit all over the place, Souček is still the reliable choice for me. Accompanying him will be Luka Modric along with Hendrickson. Center attacking mid, he's coming to the end of his career, but he's still choosing to represent his nation proudly. It's the OG Stefan Jovetic, who's currently playing in Cyprus. And for the 2 strikers, I'm going to be taking another Montenegrin, Nikola Krstovic. Maybe the Jovetic regen, he's getting some solid numbers in the Serie A. Along with, of course, the Euro 2020 mastermind, Patrick Schick. This guy is incredible, and it's unfortunate that injuries sometimes hold him back. But yes, guys, these are all of my combined 11s for each of the groups in UEFA's World Cup qualifiers. Let me know who I missed from each of these teams in the comments below. And if you have the time, let me know in the comments section who your combined 11 would look like. Just keep in mind, you've got the rule of 3 players max per country. Thank you all for making it to the end. I will see you all very, very soon. Take care. Laku noć.